Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we are reading Canto 4, Chapter 3, Text 24. Tate nirikshyo napita pideha krit.
Tatte niriksho na pitapi dehakrit.
Daksho mamadvitat anubratascha ye.
Daksho mamadvitascha ye.
Yo visvargyagatam varo rumam.
Yo vishvagatam varorama.
Anagasam durvachas karotiraha.
Anagasam durvachakarotirah.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Therefore you should not see your father, although he is the giver of your body, because he and his followers are envious of me. Because of his envy, O most worshipable one, he has insulted me with cruel words, although I am innocent. So Lord Shiva is directly telling Sati, don't go there. First he was giving her so many reasons, now he is just directly telling, don't go. For a woman, both the husband and the father are equally worshipable. The husband is the protector of a woman during her youthful life, whereas the father is a protector during her childhood. Thus, both are worshipable, but especially the father because he is the giver of the body. So the parents, they protect us when we are the most vulnerable. When we are babies, the parents protect us. At that time, we cannot protect ourselves. So Lord Chaitanya said we should give utmost respect to our parents. Because, anything can happen at that time and we are not capable of protecting ourselves. So that's what, Lord Chaitanya says. Lord Shiva reminded Sati, your father is undoubtedly worshipable even more than I am. But take care. For although he is the giver of your body, he may also be the taker of your body. Because when you see your father, he may insult you because of your association with me. An insult from a relative is worse than death, especially when one is well situated. So when someone insults us, especially someone we think is a friend, then those words really hurt our heart. So here Lord Shiva is saying, your father is really envious of me and you will not be able to bear the insult. Better you don't go. So reading on. Yadi vrajisya syatihaya madvacho.
Yadi vrajisya atihayamad
Badram bhavatyana tato bhavishyati.
Badram bhavatyana tato bhavishyati.
Sambhavitasya swajanat parabhavam.
Sambhavatasya swajanat parabhavam.
Yada sasadyo maranaya kalpate.
Yada sasadyo maranaya kalpate.
If in spite of this instruction you decide to go, neglecting my words, the future will not be good for you. You are most respectable, and when you are insulted by your relative, this insult will immediately be equal to death. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 4th canto, 3rd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Talks Between Lord Shiva and Sati. So continuing on, chapter 4, Sati quits her body. Maitreya Vacha Etavadukva Virarama Shankaraha.
Maitreya uvacha etavad Rama Sankara.
Patni Anganasham Hyubha Yatra Chintayan.
Patni Anganasham hi ubha yatra chintayan.
Surididikrishu Parishankita Bhavan.
Shuritti kashu parishankita bhavan.
Nishkramati Nirvishati Dvidhasasam.
Nishkramati nirvishati vidashasa.
The sage Maitreya said, Lord Shiva was silent after speaking to Sati. Seeing her between decisions, Sati was very much anxious to see her relatives at her father's house. But at the same time, she was afraid of Lord Shiva's warning, her mind unsettled. She moved in and out of the room as a swing moves this way and that. Sati's mind was divided about whether to go to her father's house or obey the orders of Lord Shiva. The struggle between the two decisions was so strong that she was pushed from one side of the room to another, and she began to move just like the pendulum of a clock. So, when we are disturbed in mind, we may be also like pacing up and down, walking, when the mind is really disturbed. So, reading on. Surididriksha pratigata durmanaha.
Shuritti dhiksha pratigata durmana.
Sneha dhrudate ashu kalati vihvala.
Sneha rudati ashru kalati vivala.
Bhavam bhavani apriti purusham rusha.
Bhavam bhavani apratipurusham.
Pradhakshyat vikaishata jata vepatuhu.
Pradakshati jatavepato.
Sati felt very sorry at being forbidden to go see her relatives at her father's house, and due to affection for them, tears fell from her eyes. Shaking and very much afflicted, she looked at her uncommon husband, Lord Shiva, as if she were going to blast him with her vision. The word apratipurusham used in this verse means one who has no equal. So Lord Shiva, he is not an ordinary living entity. He is Shiva Tattva, a Tattva by himself. He is an expansion of Lord Vishnu, but he is not Vishnu Tattva. He is Shiva Tattva, and there is no one other than him. Lord Shiva has no equal in the material world in regard to equality towards everyone. And so also it is said that Lord Shiva is equal to everyone because he is a pure devotee. Pure devotee sees everyone with an equal vision. Na sochati na kamchati. Sama sarveshu bhuteshu. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that one who is on the Brahman platform is sama sarveshu bhuteshu. Sees everyone equally. So his wife Sati knew that her husband was equal towards everyone. So why in this case was he so unkind to his wife that he did not allow her to go to her father's house? This distressed her more than she could tolerate, and she looked at her husband as if she were ready to blast him with her vision. In other words, since Lord Shiva is the Atma, Shiva also means Atma, it indicated here that Sati was prepared to commit suicide. Another meaning of the word Aprati Purusha is the personality who has no life. Since Lord Shiva could not be persuaded to give her permission, Sati took shelter of a woman's last weapon, weeping, which forces a husband to agree to the proposal of his wife. Weeping is the tear, this is the last weapon that women have. This is what is said, and I think we may be using it also. Anyway, going on. Tato vinishvasya sati vihayatam.
Tato vinishvasya sati vihayatam.
Shokena roshena chuduyatta hrida.
Shokena roshena cha tuyata hida.
Pitroragatstrena vimudadhirgrihan.
Pitrorakachtre vimudadhirgrihan.
Premnahat manoyoridamadat satam priya.
Premnat manoyo tam adat satam priya.
Thereafter, Sati left her husband, Lord Shiva, who had given her half his body due to affection, Ardhangani. The wife is called Ardhangani. Breathing very heavily because of anger and bereavement, she went to the house of her father. This less intelligent act was due to her being a weak woman. According to the Vedic conception of family life, the husband gives half his body to his wife, and the wife gives half of her body to her husband. In other words, a husband without a wife or a wife without a husband is incomplete. So the husband and wife, they share in each other's karma, they share in each other's um, that's the reason they are called, the wife is called the Ardhangani, and then she shares in with the good pious activities of the husband, and the husband also gets a share of the spiritual activities that the wife does. It's not only that the wife gets the share of the spiritual activities of the husband, even the husband gets a share of all the pious or spiritual activities that the wife does. Vedic marital relationship existed between Lord Shiva and Sati, but sometimes due to weakness, a woman becomes very much attracted by the members of her father's house, and this happened to Sati. In this verse, it is specifically mentioned that she wanted to leave such a great husband as Shiva because of her womanly weakness. In other words, womanly weakness exists even in the relationship between husband and wife. Generally, separation between husband and wife is due to womanly behavior. Divorce takes place due to womanly behavior. Any comments? Any what do you say? Objections? Generally, separation takes place between husband and wife is due to womanly behavior. Well, because what happens is sometimes the husband may also act unintelligently, which may force the wife to leave. That is the point. The husband or the wife may give in to the lower nature, which ends up in a divorce. That's the point to understand. The best course for a woman is to abide by the orders of her husband. Then what to do if the husband is not a proper man? That's a consideration too.
Hare
That's a
Krishna.
consideration. Yes.
Yeah, actually, I have doubt about the Shati because I haven't read about Shati like he wanted to leave Shiva. Like, is there any evidence, any Veda or because I every time I heard by my parents or my like Purohit, like Shati was pure devotee of her husband. So here it is mentioned like due to womanly nature, she also wanted to leave such a great husband Shiva. So is there any proof? Where can I get the detail about this?
Well, Bhagavatam is a proof itself. We are reading the
proof is
cream
here.
of the Vedas. You know,
This is a
we are
proof,
reading the
no?
cream of the Vedas. Bhagavatam is the comment, is the essence of the cream of the Vedas. So this is the evidence. And when we are saying that she left her husband, it's not that she's divorcing him. She's just going to visit the sacrifice of her father and she intends to come back.
Oh,
It's not
okay.
that, yeah, it's not that
Okay.
she
Like
is
womanly
divorcing him
nature
or
is not like attraction towards somebody else, right?
I'm sorry.
Like womanly nature is not always is like attraction with somebody else or some bad manner.
No, no. No, no,
Oh,
no. Here, what happened is that her attachment to see her father, her attachment to see her sisters and mother became so
yes.
strong that she wanted to go see them. She got under control of that and she wanted to see the sacrifice and come back. It was not her intention that she's not going to come back.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I misunderstood actually. Okay.
Yeah, and Lord Shiva could foresee that
That's what,
when she goes,
yeah,
and this is what it's going to be like. So he could foresee, and he was trying to convince her not to go. Yeah,
exactly. Yes, thank you.
Mm.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sometimes there may be misunderstandings between husband and wife, as found even in such an elevated family relationship as that of Sati and Lord Shiva. But a wife should not leave her husband's protection because of such a misunderstanding. If she does so, it is understood to be due to her womanly weakness. Okay, so reading on. Tam anvagachandro tavikramam satim
Tam avagachan druta vikraman satim
एकं त्रिनेत्रानुचराः सहस्रशः
ekam
Oh,
trinetranuchara sahas
Sahasrasha.
सपार्षदयक्षा मणिमन्मदाद्यः
saparshata yaksha
Manimantataya.
manimanmatadaya
पुरोरिषेन्द्रास्तरसा गताव्यथाः
puro vrishindra
Vrishindra
sarasa
Sara Sara
vyatha.
Gatavyata.
When they saw Sati leaving alone very rapidly, thousands of Lord Shiva's disciples, headed by Maniman and Mother, quickly followed her with his bull Nandi in front and accompanied by the yakshas. Sati was going very fast so that she might not be checked by her husband. But she was immediately followed by many thousands of disciples of Lord Shiva, headed by the yakshas, Maniman, and Mother. The word gata vyathaha used in this connection means without fear. Sati did not care that she was going alone, therefore she was almost fearless. The word anucharaha is also significant for it indicates that Lord Shiva's disciples were always ready to sacrifice anything for Lord Shiva. All of them could understand the desire of Shiva, who did not want Sati to go alone. Anucharaha means those who can immediately understand the purpose of their master. Anucharaha. So a disciple should be like that, it is said. That should be able to follow in the, should be able to please the spiritual master in such a way, even before the spiritual master asks, that he or she knows that I will do this service and this was going to please my spiritual master. That is what is recommended. So here then go. So she's running kind of so that he does not stop her. She's so eager to go. Reading on. Tam shariraka kanduka darpanam puja
tam sharika kanduka darpanam puja
Etapatra Vyajana Srag Adibhihe.
Shvetapatra Vyajana Shrag Adibhi.
Gitaya Nirdundu Visham Kavenubir.
Gitayane Venuhi.
Vishendram Arobhya Vittankitayayoho.
Vrishendra Arobhya Vitankitayayu.
The disciples of Lord Shiva arranged for Sati to be seated on the back of a bull and gave her the bird, which was her pet. They bore a lotus flower, a mirror, and all such paraphernalia for her enjoyment, and covered her with a great canopy, followed by a singing party with drums, conch shells, and bugles. The entire procession was as pompous as a royal parade. So all the followers of Lord Shiva want to make the journey of Sati as comfortable as possible. Brahma Goshorjita Yagya Veshasam
Brahma Gosho Chitaya Naveshasham.
Viprashijustam Vibudescha Sarvasha
Viprashijustam Vibhutescha Sarvasya.
Vridharvaya Kanchanadar Bhacharam Bhir Charmabhi
Kanchana Dharpacharmavi.
Nishrishta Bhandam Yajanam Samavisha
Nishrishta Bandham Yajanam Samavishat.
He then reached her father's house where the sacrifice was being performed and entered the arena where everyone was chanting the Vedic hymns. The great sages, brahmanas, and demigods were all assembled there, and there were many sacrificial animals as well as pots made of clay, stone, gold, grass, and skin, which were all requisite for the sacrifice. So we can see, why in Kali Yuga it is said that fire sacrifice is not the way, because in a sacrifice there's so many things are needed. A lot of gold would be needed before, a lot of paraphernalia, and now we do not even have the brahmanas who can chant the mantras properly, because the brahmana would, just by chanting the mantra, the animal would change the body into a maybe a younger, like suppose it's an old horse, so like a baby horse, or in the body of a human being, just by chanting mantra, not by cutting anything. So that was the power of the Brahmanas. But now we don't have that in this age of Kali. When learned sages and Brahmanas assemble to chant the Vedic mantras, some of them also engage in arguing about the conclusion of the scriptures. Thus, some of the sages and Brahmanas were arguing, and some of them were chanting the Vedic mantras. So the entire atmosphere was surcharged with transcendental sound vibration. So some were chanting the Vedic hymns, and some were discussing the Vedas. You know how we say the verses, we are quoting verses from one Shastra and another Shastra. So everywhere it is all transcendental sound vibration. All the Vedic mantras, the verses that we hear or we read, all this is transcendental, not material. When we are reading the Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita, it's all transcendental sound vibration. This transcendental sound vibration has been simplified in the transcendental vibration. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In this age, no one is expected to be highly educated in the Vedic ways of understanding, because people are very slow, lazy, and unfortunate. And this is the This is the symptom of the age of Kali. We are lazy, we are unfortunate, we are quarrelsome, we are slow, we have no interest in spiritual realization. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya has recommended the sound vibration, Hare Krishna. So, by Lord Chaitanya's mercy, if we can appeal to Lord Chaitanya for his mercy and in that mode chant the Hare Krishna mantra, then very quickly we can go back home, back to Godhead. Because Lord Chaitanya knows we have no qualification. And that's the reason he came and gave us the Hare Krishna mantra. We simply have to surrender to him. Well, not even surrender. As we just read, Neha posted, Jayapataka Maharaj said, Lord Chaitanya does not even ask surrender. He just says you chant and he gives his mercy. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 5, Text 32, it is also recommended, Yagya Sankirtana Praya, Yajanti hi Sumedasaha. Yagya Sankirtana Praya, Yajanti hi Sumedasaha. The intelligent, those who are intelligent in Kali Yuga, will worship the Lord by performing this Sankirtan. At the present moment, it is impossible to gather sacrificial necessities because of the poverty of the population and the lack of knowledge in Vedic mantras. Therefore, for this age, it is recommended that people gather together and chant the Hare Krishna mantra to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is accompanied by his associates. So, chanting for the pleasure of Krishna. Krishna is pleased when we chant his holy names. Indirectly, this indicates Lord Chaitanya, who is accompanied by his associates Nityananda, Advaita, and others. And that is the process of performing yajna in this age. So if we can chant for the pleasure of Gaurnitai, chant for the pleasure of Panchatattva, we can very quickly go back home, back to Godhead. So shall we stop here or continue with this paragraph?
I have to leave. Sorry.
Okay, so we'll stop here for
Yeah.
today. Thank you so much for listening and
Thank you.
joining in. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.